Germaine Foley is a certified life and money coach who helps women who earn good money but still feel stuck financially. After paying off over $200,000 in debt without giving up travel and the things she loved, she created a practical approach to building wealth without extreme budgeting. Now she teaches other high earning women how to grow their net worth and enjoy life at the same time. What's up, my financially intentional people? I miss you. It's been a minute. And I'm back with Germaine Foley. And I think that this conversation is going to be so real and so deep because I think we have similar audiences, we have similar interests, and I just know that we can really dive deep into some of the issues that women like us, high earners, have around building wealth. And when I started this podcast, it was mostly for nurses like me and nurses in the Bay Area, make over $200,000 a year, but have lifestyle inflation like a mug. And I was just trying to show them what financial independence was and was possible for them, because I had to learn it at a later stage in my life. And if I could shortcut things for people, that's what I wanted to do. And I know you serve high earning women professionals. And so there's a lot of crossover. Anyway, Germaine, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
I am amazing. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited about the conversation. You're right. It's going to be juicy.
Yes. So how did you get into the money space? What is your background?
Yes. So listen, my money used to be a hot mess, even though I made a lot of it. And so my story is my husband and I, we both grew up in blue collar households where our parents didn't have a lot of money, but we knew that we wanted to have more. So we went to college, got the job, built the career, and was making the money. And we were also spending the money. And so we found ourselves in over $200,000 worth of debt, including student loans and all the other things. And it started to get really, really stressful when I had my second son. Because my daycare bill and my mortgage were the exact same amount of money.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, we need to figure something out. And so I went to Google, and everything that came up was stop buying your lattes, stop going on vacations. And it made my skin crawl because I'm like, I worked too hard not to be able to buy a latte. Come on. And so I ignored all that advice and I went down a very unconventional road. The story, like I said, my money was a hot mess. We ended up filing for Chapter 13 bankruptcy because we felt like quick fix, although that's for high earners, right? So you still have to pay the money back, but you get to pay it back over 5 years. And we thought that was going to change us. And it did not. We were still the same people making the same mistakes. And then that's when I just had to get real. And I took all the advice that we were given, the cutting out everything. And I took the idea to my husband and I said, listen, this is how we have to live for the next, I don't know how long or how many years. And he just looked at me like, we can't live like that. We can't give up our lives for the next, who knows how long, like 20 years, he thought, because 200,000 sounds like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, these were his words, we need to do something, but we can't do it like that. And that's when the light bulb moment went off for me. Like, why do we have to do it this strict way where we can't enjoy our lives and build wealth? And so I went on a mission to figure out how to do both, how to build wealth and enjoy my life at the same time. So we didn't give up everything that all the personal finance gurus tell us we need to give up and to stop doing. And once I got free from that, once we paid it all off, and really, I knew I had to help other women because I'm like, if I was suffering this bad, I know other women are suffering in silence. And there's a lot of shame because everybody thinks you've got it together. Everybody comes to you because they think you're balling out of control. You live the life, you drive the cars, you have the house, you have the career. But on the inside, it's just a mess and you feel ashamed, embarrassed. And so I just knew I had to help other women. And I know that one of the things that keep so many of us stuck is that feeling that we have to give up our lives in order to build wealth. And so I just wanted to let people know that you don't have to do it that way if you don't want to.
And I'm shaking my head and smiling during the whole time that you're talking, because all of those things I relate to. And the thing about not hearing the solutions that you felt like fit into your life is real. Also, not having those voices that kind of you feel like understood and could actually speak to you is real. And that guilt and shame around being that person that has made it. Like, we're typically the ones in the family that have had the degrees and the good jobs and Instagram popping. That's what I call it. Like, on Instagram, we have everything figured out. And with you, you got your husband, your kids, your house, your career, you got everything. The shame of knowing internally that you still feel broken financially is enough to make you shut down and not want to do anything. And so many people feel that. And nobody is talking about that feeling in a way that makes people feel like it's possible for them. So I appreciate that. And I resonate with that. And that's exactly where I was at. So I want to talk about like the system that you actually use to pay off that debt, and how long did it take you and your husband to get out of that $200,000 in debt?
So it took us about 8 years to get out. Our final get out of debt moment was in 2015, when back then it was Naviet. That was the student person. And I have the screenshot where that was like zero. So that was like, so it took us about 8 years to do it. So not 20 years like we initially thought.
Mm-hmm.
And so my method is just, okay, I want to build wealth. And for me, when I think about building wealth, that means getting out of debt, building a really nice cushion of cash savings, and then investing consistently. And in order to do that, you need a nice income and you need to have your spending under control. But that doesn't mean you need to go on a strict budget. So I call it a do both method. It's just a mindset, really, to say that you can do both. You can build wealth and enjoy life at the same time. I was a guest on a different podcast about a year ago now, and the host was like, I asked my community some questions that they wanted me to ask you, and they don't believe you. They don't think that they can build wealth and enjoy life. So it's like, that's the narrative, that you can't do it. And isn't that crazy? That's what society has taught us. And that's why nobody's doing it, because they think they can't.
That society, or the only way you can do it is if you win the lotto or you have this crazy windfall. And that's the only way. That's your only hope. Or if somebody saves you financially. For women, yeah, it's that. And it's really not that hard, and it's really not that deep. It's just that you need to know what's possible. And that's why we're here. And that's why we're talking about it. And my whole tagline is to build wealth without deprivation. And I think that a lot of people think that even a budget, like I say budgeting because I think however you want to phrase it and whatever you're doing and creating a spending plan, whatever, it all comes down to budgeting. But I really want to destigmatize that word, because it doesn't mean that you can't spend money. It doesn't mean that you have to live like an impoverished life. I'm not talking about beans and rice. I'm talking about being intentional about the things that you spend your money on. And once you shift that relationship, all that other stuff you were spending money on, first of all, you probably don't know what you were spending your money on, because we just spend so impulsively now. Especially if you have kids, because they gonna ask you for 50 million things. You just $5 here, $10 there, and before you know it, you don't have no money. But once you start spending intentionally, you don't miss those things. So it's not about deprivation. That's why my platform is financially intentional, because it's about that intentionality. So I love that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what the do both method is. It's do both, build wealth and enjoy life. So the way you do it is you really think about, okay, what are your financial goals? Like, you have to have some goals, because if you don't have goals, you're just going to continue to live the same life over and over again. So for us, it was initially because it was sucking up all of our income. Like, we were literally working just to pay debt. That was all we were working for. And the other part of that is to get real on what truly matters to you and start spending on those things and stop spending on all the other stuff. And then once you do that, you free up money to be able to build wealth with. I mean, it, like to your point, it's so simple. Easy, but it's simple.
It's not easy. It's not easy. But again, it's a mindset and
Mm-hmm.
it's about knowing what's possible.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
and I love that. I love that term, the do both method.
Thank you.
I love that. I love that. That's so cool. So after you were able to do this, how did you move into helping other people and other women do that?
Yes. So, I was like patting myself on the back, like, yeah, you did this, you got it together. And literally, I was sitting in my car one day, and I'm a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who are not, like, bear with me here. I literally heard God tell me, not audibly, but like spiritually, that I didn't do this just for you and your family. This was for you to also help other women that are just like you, the ones who have made it, the ones who have it all together from the outside looking in, but they're still stressed like you were. And so those were my marching orders. I'm like, okay, this wasn't just for me and my family. Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when you hit a big goal like that, it can be a little anticlimactic. Okay, now what?
And also, not only is it anticlimactic, like you've acclimated yourself to being in that. So it's like, this is what life is right now. People should know, you should know this. Like, it's
Right.
just simple. Like, how do you do it? You just do it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so it's just, oh, wait, like, I help other people.
Yeah. And that started. So with that, I was just like, okay, yes, I'm going to help other people. And I just started, okay, this is what you do. You do this and you do this. And people would do it. And then they would be like, they would fizzle out, right? Because it's not about just the doing, it's about the being somebody different. And so that's when I went back. And so the first thing I did was I got a financial education instructor certification. And so I did that. And then when I was helping people and it was just like not really clicking for them, I went and decided that I wanted to be a life coach. So I'm a certified life coach as well. So I bring the life coaching aspect, that behavior change, that mindset piece to money. And now I have the tools to really dig deep and help my clients create permanent change, not just temporary change. Because anybody can do something for a short period, but how do you make this a lifestyle change? And that's how I help my clients, really using a lot of life coaching tools and financial strategies to help them really make that permanent behavior change.
And in doing that, I know the pains of coaching all too well. And like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm that person that I'm just like, I take things personally. If I took the time out of my busy day to walk you through something, to explain something to you, and then you don't do it, like that is the bane of my existence. But I know that there's certain people that you find these methods work out for. Not that you have to be a certain person, but a person has to be in a certain mindset or a certain state to be able to successfully implement these things. What if you felt like those things were? Like, where does a person have to kind of like be?
Yes. So first of all, they just need to be ready. And here's the kicker though. I don't think there's any special like trait you need,
Yeah.
but you have to be willing to let go of perfection and to keep going no matter what.
Yeah.
Like you have to be serious. I'm not giving up until I get the result. Because I promise you, if that's your mindset, like I'm ready for this. And no matter how many mistakes I make, no matter how many times I fail, no matter how many times I make a budget and don't stick to it, I'm getting back on track. That is the key to success, being willing to get it wrong and then get back up and try again. For my clients, I work with them long term because I know how some people might get it right off the bat, but then they'll fizzle out. And you're like, okay, let's get back on track. And then others, they'll stumble for months and then they finally get it and then they hit their stride. So it's just being willing to keep going no matter what and to keep trying no matter what and to never give up.
I love that because I think people think that they can do one thing. Like that's like the common thing people tell me. What's one thing I can do to make sure that I start building wealth? And then you do that thing and you might not see the results and then you fall back into those habits.
Mm-hmm.
People need to understand that wealth building is not like this linear thing. You put this thing in place and then all of a sudden it takes off. Like you put these things in place, you build these habits, you do the right thing. Something happens, you go a couple of steps back. But now you have the tools that you didn't have before. So you're still further ahead. It's not just, you're just going to go straight up. It's going to look like this.
Yes.
And a lot of people just aren't ready to hear that. And it's just like losing weight. Like, how do you feel like you're going to fix all these years of these habits that you've accumulated in 1 month? And if you don't have a six pack by the end of that month, like you giving up. Like, come on now. It don't work like that.
So good, because weight loss and money, I feel like they go hand in hand. And it's such a picture because when you say that, like you're not going to have a six pack. If you have 20, 50 or 80 pounds to lose, you're not going to have a six pack in a month. You probably won't even have one in 6 months. Okay. Right. But are you willing to keep going until you get it? Like
yes. I love that. What do you think is really standing in the way of women like getting to where they want to be, like as far as building wealth?
You know what? I think it comes down to a lot of what I said earlier, just thinking that like they're going to have to just go on this really strict budget and live this boring, frugal life and give up everything. It's funny because while before we were at the point where we were just like ready to change, this was when Dave Ramsey was huge and he still is huge. But there was a big billboard right off the highway and I would drive that highway route every day and his face was there like, listen to the radio show. And I used to literally like every time I passed it, I would intentionally not look at him. I'm not looking at him because I didn't want to do all the things that he was saying. And listen, I respect Dave Ramsey 100%, but I think people just don't want to live like that. They just don't. They don't want the rice and beans. They don't want to give up their vacations. They don't want to not be able to go to restaurants, not to be able to go on girls' trips or vacations. Like no one wants to do that. And some people do it, but they burn out and they never get the result anyway. So it's just, what if you could do it in a more sustainable way? If it wasn't this huge rush to get there and you were willing to just build strong habits and then get there sooner than if you didn't do anything. But maybe you're not getting there, like you said, in a month or 6 months, but you're building a strong foundation that's going to last forever.
What do your clients say to you that is most surprising to them about the process?
I think the one thing that always get a lot of aha moments is when they actually look at their numbers, where they actually take the time and see where all their money is going. Because most of us don't know. We don't know where in the world all our money is going. And when they actually see, oh my gosh, I'm spending on this. And I didn't even know I signed up for that. I had a lady who signed up for a subscription service. She was paying $95 a month for years. Didn't even know. I'm like, how did you know? Oh my God. But she didn't know. And so that, and then when they start seeing the momentum, because sometimes, like I said, it can be hard getting it going, but once they start seeing the momentum, even if it's just a little bit of progress, it just fuels them to keep going.
Yeah, I just like in the moment, it's so hard to see though. And I just remember like thinking that when I started on my journey, like, man, this is going to take forever. And then through like less than 3 years, I was done paying off my debt. And I was just like, dang, that was so fast. But you couldn't have told me that in the moment. Like, I was just like, I don't know how long this is going to last. That's what I find is that once you really like get intentional and buckle down and do the things that you need to do and just put one foot in front of the other, it does not take long. And the thing is, the time is going to pass anyway.
Yeah.
And the thing about money is that you want to be able to capitalize off of like your investments. And so you do lose by waiting and delaying that process. And so I just think that so many people think that they need to have it all figured out before
Mm-hmm.
they start instead of just starting and learning along the way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it could go like for us, it took us 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
We could have totally done it faster, but we had that mindset of we want to still be able to live life.
Yes.
And so that people can decide which route they want to go. You can go super fast and really, like you said, buckle down, or you can take a little longer, like we did, because we still wanted to. I needed to make sure that we got to the finish line because my husband was, he was like, we can't live like that.
And when I did it, it was just me. So I'm assuming that also when you have to deal with somebody else, you have a whole partner. There's some
Yeah.
challenges that can come up. Did you experience, besides your husband being like, nah, we can do it, but not like that? What were some of the challenges that you guys faced like through those 8 years?
Oh, yeah. Such a good question. So when we first got married, we subscribed to the teaching that everything needs to be in one pot. And that that did not work for us. It just did
Okay.
not. And so what we learned for us was like, we don't have to do it the way everyone tells us we need to do it. Like live your life based on what works for you and your family. And so for years we did the one pot thing. And I felt like I was actually trying to control a whole nother human being. You can't do. You don't have that control. You don't have that power to control someone else. So one of the things we implemented, and I recommend it to anyone who is in a partnership, is the his, hers, and ours account, where we have a household account that we both contribute to. I have my money, he has his. And you figure out how it works for you, but that's the gist of it. That way, you both have freedom, because that's one of the things I think that's it's just a human need, it's freedom. And when you feel like you have to go through another human being for everything, and for us, it didn't work. So that's one of the things I learned was like, okay, first of all, you can't control another adult. And secondly, you can do it your way. You can figure out a way that works for you and your family and not subscribe to how, again, society, the gurus, everybody tells you need to do it.
And I know you primarily work with women, but how do you approach that when they have a spouse or a partner that they're sharing finances with?
Yeah, so I work with women who have financial autonomy. So even if they are married, they can pretty much call the shots what they're going to do with their money. A lot of my clients are the breadwinners. A lot of them are not married, so that they don't have someone else to account for. But typically, even if they have autonomy. They're the ones that handle the finances, and their husband is on board with them doing whatever we're doing. And a lot of them have that his, hers, and ours account. So they're really accounting for the household income and also what they're doing with their personal money.
And for those people that you coached who are transitioning into relationships, what advice do you have them to take into that transition period?
Be very transparent. Just set it. I think that's one of the things that we like to just brush under the rug is finances. Oh, we'll figure it out once we're together, once we're living together. Just be very transparent about where each of you are, what each of you hire. How are you handling things? Just be very open and transparent. And then if I have a client that's actually have one now who's on the verge of getting probably engaged. And so that's a conversation we'll definitely be navigating together. Okay, it's time to talk about money. How we're going to handle that with your new person. Yeah.
What are your views on prenups?
Oh, I don't have one. I've been married 22 years now. So that is not something I even thought about.
Right.
But I think they're a good thing. I think they're neutral. Like they can be good or they're like money. Money is not good or bad. It is it is what it is. So if you want one, go for it. But I don't think it's a must. I think, again, putting on that life coaching hat, Like, I don't know what's best for my clients. That's something they will have to decide for themselves if that's what they want to enter into.
That's fair. That's fair. So
Mm-hmm.
for people that want to work with you, how can they work with you?
Yeah. So as I said earlier, I don't do short term. I'm actually in the process of probably coming up with a 2-hour intensive, but I work with my clients for an entire year
Oh,
because
wow.
to
Okay.
your point, you've been handling your money for decades.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to change overnight. And the reason why I like working with them for a year is because I think it's the perfect amount of time to completely change your financial life. So the way we do it, we do 4 kickoff sessions where we really get deep, set your goals, get your money system all set up, get you going. And then we meet for about 30 minutes every other week to just tweak and check in and coach and any mindset habits or overspending, all the things that can just come and derail your progress. We coach on those things. We celebrate, we tweak, and we get you going. And by the end of the year, I mean, the women, they have a totally different situation financially.
I bet. And do you do it in a group setting or one-on-one?
Completely one-on-one.
Okay,
Completely
cool.
one-on-one. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what's like the application process to work with you?
Yes. So you just fill out a short questionnaire and just book a call. I usually call them financial clarity consultations.
Mm-hmm.
And the women, we sit, we look at where they are, where they want to be. We look at the 5 areas of money. For me, that's income. Most of the women I work with, they already have that under control. Then we look at your spending, your debt, your savings, and your investing. And then we create a game plan for how you're going to up level all of those things. And then if I think I can help them and they think that they want to get started, we can get started right away.
So you do have room.
I do. I have some room. I do. Yes.
Cool. So I have the link to your program, I think, in your website, and I'll share that in the show notes. But what do you really want people to take away from this conversation?
Absolutely. I think what I really want people to know is that wherever they are now, they don't have to stay there. Like, your life can literally be different. I used to think that it was my lot in life to struggle with money. Like, it was just what it was. Like, oh, I watched my family struggle. I was struggling. I'm like, that's just how it has to be. And it just doesn't have to be that way. And if you're ready and if you're willing to keep going, no matter what, you can change your life.
What kind of messages are you passing down to your kids?
Yeah. So it's interesting because I now have a 20-year-old.
What? And girl, you look so good.
Oh, thank you. A 20-year-old and a 17-year-old. And the messages is like I just talked about, the 5 areas of money, like income. I want them to know that literally their income earning potential is unlimited, is only limited by their mindset. And then helping them understand their spending. So I have one who doesn't like to spend anything, and I have one who will cash out anytime he can. So helping both of them find that balance where you're not hoarding money, but you're not frivolous either. You find that balance. So helping them understand how to properly spend on things that actually matter to them.
Yeah.
I had a couple of people on my podcast recently. I do have a podcast, by the way. It's called Becoming the Wealthy You. Yes. But Clifton, we both know Clifton. That's how we met. He talked about how he helps his kids when they want to buy something. He asks them, is this your awesome stuff? Is this the stuff that really matters to you? But kind of like the do both method, spend on what matters. So helping them to see that. And then I had another lady on, I don't know if Jamie Bossy, you may know her. She was on recently, and she says that, and I'm actually just stealing all these little nuggets. She says, so she let her kids buy what they want to buy. And then she makes a little note, and a week later, she asks them, so are you still happy with that purchase? Yes. And they're like, sometimes they're like, what purchase? What you talking about? And then it's a teaching moment where they're like, oh, you know what? I forgot all about it. Next time. And then she tells them, next time, then you probably don't want to buy something like that. And then other times they're just like so happy that they bought it because they're using it. So just little things like that, and teaching them about saving and investing and debt and all that stuff. So just teaching them the basics.
I love that. I'm going to use those things. I'm stealing that from you.
Mm-hmm. And I stole it from them. Hey, we can just share.
We're sharing like selfishly. Like that's the reason why I have this podcast, is because I learn so much from every one of my guests. And those are the things that I implement, because it's not enough. Like even me, a personal finance expert, has to still be surrounded by this stuff to be able to incorporate it in my life. And I always learn new techniques and new things and new ways and look at things differently, because I'm constantly surrounding myself with this and just like really, really committed to putting those things into place. And I think that like the thing from a common person to understand is that even us, the people that are in this space, are still continuously learning and doing and improving, and we make mistakes. And I think that's what important for people to hear, is that we're not that far ahead of you. We may know a couple more things, and we may have implemented some things to get where we're at. It does not take a long time, but it does take some intentionality, and it does take that willingness to be able to put in the work. And I think people will get that from this, and people will understand you are not you're deserving.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it without giving up the things that you love. You can do it in spite of your past money mistakes. Mm-hmm. And if anybody takes anything away from this podcast, I hope it's that. And that there's no time like now to get it together.
No time like the present moment. And don't tell yourself that it's too late, that, you're a lost cause. Don't believe any of those lies, because that's just going to keep delaying you from taking action and starting the process to change your life. And it's like you said, if they're willing to just not be perfect at this. If you can get a B- in money, you're doing really, really good.
Really good.
And that's hard for us perfectionists, high achieving, high earning women. We want the A+. We don't need to get the A+ in money. B- is good enough, and you'll be so much further along if you just embrace that mindset.
Yes, I love that. And Germaine, again, let people know how they can work with you, where they can find you and learn more about you.
Yes, so I created a free training. It's called How to Build Wealth Without Going on a Strict Budget. And I would love for your listeners to grab that training. They can find it at GermaineFoley.com/wealth class. That's Germaine with a G, Foley.com/wealth class. And I'll also give you the link for anyone who wants to book a financial clarity consultation. I'll share that link as well. That's GermaineFoley.com/consult. So there we go.
Okay. And don't worry about trying to remember those things. They'll be in the show notes. But Germaine, this has been such a great conversation. I know it'll inspire someone and hopefully inspire them to act. So I appreciate you and looking forward to being on your podcast.
Yes. Can't wait.